What's going on, people? We are back at the Fragrance Fraternity for another live stream on your Wednesday. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're smelling good out there. Drop your scent of the day. We got some fall fragrances we're going to be talking. There was some discussion last time about fall fragrances, so we're going to keep that discussion going. I got some awesome recommendations of stuff that I'm going to be looking forward to wearing this fall. I obviously want to hear about what you're going to be wearing this fall, and we can talk about it a little bit. Made this live stream about 2 hours ago. We'll see who shows up. But yeah, let's get started, I guess, with the way we always get started with the scent of the day. So today I went with Abercrombie and Fitch Away, this little rack store cheapie that you might be sleeping on. This thing is really solid. If you like YSL Y Eau de Toilette, maybe Missoni Wave, stuff in that fresh blue category, you're going to have a really enjoyable wearing experience with this little puppy. Don't get great performance, but it's got a shine. It's got a sparkle. I forget who, someone in the comments section, maybe John Carlo, says that they gave this to their son. I'm not sure who, but they always say that they gave this to their son, and their son gets a lot of compliments from people at school. So I know it works for more people than just me. And you see the dent. Definitely come back to this a lot of the time, especially in the summer. It's a really great summer fragrance that people don't really mention. Yeah, I like this more than YSL Y EDT, to be honest. A little bit underrated, but if you guys see this at Ross, I think it's really worth scooping up. Probably going to get another bottle if they have one around, because I've been flying through this one. It's kind of like soapy Y EDT. It's got that aldehyde, sparkle, effervescent, aquatic nature to it. Really nice. And it's got a little bit of the sweetness from Missoni Wave too. And then in the afternoon, I usually wear 2 fragrances a day. Been rocking Ultra Red from Paco Rabanne, a little bit of a throwback. Vince Sense actually put me onto this. I saw a video of him talking about this, and I kind of forgot about this fragrance. For a while there, it was kind of really like premium priced. It was really expensive because it was discontinued and it was just getting hiked up. And then I don't know if they found like another warehouse full of this stuff, but it's $30 for 100 ml. This is great. Kind of supposedly smells like Mugler Ultra Zest, Amen Ultra Zest. I've never tried that fragrance. I kind of got into fragrances after the Amen line kind of died. Unfortunately, I heard there's a lot of good ones in there though. But this one's good. It's got like this stapler gun type atomizer. I've never seen that before, but it smells really good. It's got a really prominent blood orange in the opening and a nice vanilla sweetness that doesn't come across too sweet. I actually think this is a great summer fragrance, and that's kind of an odd thing, right? A summer vanilla, but this really is kind of like a summery vanilla because that orange, the blood orange pop, is really the star of the show here. Fortunately, performance is not great, but I've been really enjoying it. You can go crazy on the trigger. It's $30 for 100 ml. You can already see the dent. I've only had it a couple days. I've been going really crazy on it because I love the way it smells. So just another kind of solid cheapie. It's been a day of cheapies for me today. It's been really hot, and I'm like, just give me something fresh and cheap that I can just spray a bunch. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately. Let's go through the chat, see what you guys are wearing, and then we'll get into some of these fall fragrances. Hopefully it's not too hot where you're at right now. Patrick, what's going on, my man? Me and Patrick have been talking a lot back and forth just about various fragrances. If you guys ever want to just chat about random fragrances, you can hit up my Instagram and give me your thoughts, your unfiltered thoughts about various fragrances. Dan, the man, thank you so much for sending over a 10 ml of Wave Child. This Mr. Dan is a very, very thoughtful guy because he saw in the last stream that I was interested in Wave Child and I haven't tried it yet. And he was kind enough to send me a 10 ml. So very kind. I just want to give some appreciation and let it be known that Dan is, in fact, the man. So thank you for doing that, Dan. I'm looking forward to trying that. We'll definitely give you my thoughts as soon as it comes in. Mr. Vince, how you doing, my man? Hope you're feeling good today. Banana Republic rep in the building. Still waiting on my check, though. Still waiting on that check to come in, but I'll take the title. I'll take it. I wouldn't mind that sponsorship check, though, too. Come on, BR. Where you at? Or at least, I've wanted to try that Midnight Hour, which you don't really see in the rack stores, but there's a fragrance called Midnight Hour, and it's supposed to be like Blockade from Mind Games, which is kind of like Mango Aventus. So I'm on the lookout for that. So, if they don't want to send me a check, they can just send me Midnight Hour and I'll check that out. How about that? Smooth, what is up, my man? Thanks for being here on this Wednesday evening. Hope you're feeling good. PDM Sedley, felt like I was ignoring the old boy this summer. Yeah, I have kind of not worn Mahir Legacy as much as I did before. I don't know. I kind of feel that same way about that scent profile. Got to get back to it for sure, but good choice. Really solid. Could you, Kevin, what's up, my man? Thanks for being here. I have not seen your name before in the live stream. So if this is your first time, welcome to the Fragrance Fraternity, where we are essentially just a small group of gentlemen that like to keep it positive, like to keep it fun, and like to smell good. Pretty simple. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the fraternity. Good sir. Do an electric, scent of the night, Dua Electric Atlantic and YSL Blue Electric / Bulgari Aqua Atlantic Fusion. Got a new haul of Duas, went a bit crazy with 4 new ones. If you ever need to warm up your pronunciation before a theatrical performance, you can say Night Dua Electric Atlantic 15 times and your tongue will be warmed up to give your presentation. Thanks for being here and thanks for sharing. Bulgari Wood Neroli. I've not got my nose on it, but I've heard good things. I wore Wood Essence for a good, decent part of my life. And I'd like that one. Wood Neroli is one that I'd like to try as well. Bulgari's got some hidden gems in their lineup. Corey, thanks for being here, my man. Hope you're doing well today. Hope you're excited to talk about some fall fragrances. Scent is Bond number 9 Greenwich Village for Smooth Operator. Very nice niche fragrance right there. You're smelling great today. I have not gotten it yet. My mail carrier there have been some weird things going on. I supposedly had something delivered today. It's not here, but it wasn't your package that was supposed to be delivered today. It was a different package. Yeah, the package system with where I'm at has been shaky, but I did get the tracking number and yeah, I'll be on top of that for sure. So I just don't think it's arrived just yet. All right, we met at the bottom of the chat. Let's start talking about some fall fragrances that I was compiling as I was putting this together. So where to start is the question. Where to start? Well, let's just get this one out of the way. Let's get this one out of the way because I know Vince wants to hear me talk about some Banana Republic so I can keep my title of sponsorship. Tobacco and Tonka Bean, guys, this is the best one out of the Icon line. I've talked about this Icon line. Unfortunately, this is not something you want to wear during the summer at all. You really need that cooler weather for this. But in the evening time, in the cooler weather, this is a really amazing fragrance for $25. And I don't just throw that out casually. I don't casually call a lot of $25 fragrances amazing. I like to manage expectations. I'm not a niche snob per se, but I'm also not gonna, tell you something is amazing if it's really just kind of okay, right? So obviously Tobacco and Tonka Bean, just like the name says, as far as the note breakdown, but you get this really creamy vanilla to it too that adds a really nice sweetness. It does get compared to Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. Definitely get the comparison. Obviously not going to be the same quality, but for the $25 that you get these fragrances, the quality is spectacular. Yeah, I mean, this is also another fragrance that I've kind of been wearing sometimes in the evenings, kind of winding down before bed or something. Just been able to sneak a couple sprays in. Don't really have any other fragrances that smell like this, but it's certainly doing justice to that Tonka and tobacco fusion that it provides. A beautiful gourmand, creamy, sweet type of fragrance. Yeah, kind of unisex too, but doesn't smell overly feminine, at least to my nose. But if you like creamy vanillas, this is value for money. It's probably one of the best fragrances, value for money wise, that you can get. So that one pops up pretty regularly. Let's do one more. What to do next? We'll just do the other cheapie in this list. Just get the cheapies out of the way. Rasasi de Riege. Haven't heard about this one in a while, I bet. This is a clone of Valentino V, which is a discontinued fragrance. And I always love, I'm not like all about clones necessarily. I have some clones. I'm not a clone hater either. I do have a good amount of clones that I enjoy and use. But I've noticed lately, especially like some of the bigger channels have just become overrun with clones, and I'm kind of over it. To be honest, like you start to, when every video is a clone video, you kind of start to question their integrity a little bit, because it's like, yeah, I get clones are cool, but does every video need to be about clones? Do I need 50 clones in my collection? Not really. So just a little side note there. But as far as this fragrance goes, it's also in that tonka bean kind of sweet range. It does have some floral aspects to it, and it has some what come across to me as aquatic aspects, even though the notes won't really suggest it. My brother, when he smelled this, he said it smelled like a bathroom at an expensive resort. So I thought that was a really interesting description, and that kind of always comes to mind now because it does have a bit of like freshness and something that is reminiscent of an aquatic fragrance, but still has a nice modern tonka bean type sweetness to it, as long with a slight powdery nuance, I believe, in the form of iris. And there's one other floral note in this fragrance that I'm not really remembering the notes right now. But overall, very solid. And for under $20, again, the value is really great. I actually get phenomenal performance with Derige, and I think it's pretty highly underrated. I found out about this fragrance because it was recommended to me by one of the members in the fraternity. So thank you guys. You guys always give me the best fragrances that no one really talks about. Is I learn usually from you guys, so I appreciate that. But yeah, Derige is cool. If you're into these cheapies, this is definitely one you should get your nose on. Get caught up in the chat, and then we'll get back to the lineup. I always lose my place. I think that's where I was. Did you get your 1 million parfum? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so I did get it, but it was actually a fake. It was a fake bottle. And man, it was I caution you guys because eBay right now, it seems like there's a lot more fake bottles being sold on eBay than before. And I understand, you got to check the seller, you got to make sure they have a lot of reviews. This particular seller had over 1,000 reviews, and the seller was rated as one of eBay's top sellers. So, they have seller ratings or whatever. And it was like, this seller is an eBay top seller, whatever. So I felt pretty comfortable about it. From now on, I will only be buying eBay fragrances if they're from like Forever Luxe, Perfume Empire, One Dash Perfume, like these really big name stores that I know. Those are going to be the only ones from here on out that I'm going to be buying a fragrance from eBay from. So yeah, the bottle was, I wish I had it so I could show you how it wasn't even a good fake. I could tell right when I opened it, even the box was like, okay, yeah, I think that's fake. The paint was chipped on it, and I mean, I have a 10 ml of 1 million parfum, and as soon as I sprayed the fake, it was like I questioned if I should have even sprayed it, because I think there was probably some like cancer causing like horrible chemicals in it. I swear this stuff did not smell like it was even made for like human use. It was disgusting. So thankfully I sent them back their wonderful masterpiece, and they can go ahead and refund me. And I wrote them a nice little note about what I think about them selling fakes as well, that they can enjoy over a cup of coffee and think about. I'm doing well, thank God, man. Everything is good. I have a couple gigs coming up this weekend. I have way too many fragrances, more than I ever need, that I can indulge in and enjoy for fun. Um, the sun is shining. I'm in beautiful Los Angeles, California. My health is good. Thank God, man. Everything is good. I hope you are also doing well, Vance. Let us know how you are doing in the chat. Joel is here, Fragrance Fraternity's only moderator and all of Fragcom's official moderator. Thank you for being here, Joel, and also recommender of phenomenal aromas constantly. Yep, you're back to work. Oh yeah. Thankfully, I don't think I have any trolls yet. Besides, obviously, Vince is like the in-house. He's kind of filling that role until we get some real trolls. So for now, Vince just kind of, he keeps me in check, which I appreciate. But maybe as the fraternity grows, we'll have some real trolls, and we're gonna put you to work, Joel. Yeah, I mean, he deserves it. If anybody deserves a vacation, it's Joel. He's on every. He's moderating for everybody. Come on, let the man have a break for once. Newt, what's up? Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate the kind words there, my man. Yeah, and he's totally right. He's totally right. There are a lot of fakes on eBay, guys. Just be careful. I don't say don't buy from eBay. Just my advice, or what I'm doing right now, is only get it from authorized sellers. Forever Lux, One Dash Perfume, Perfume Empire, just the sellers that have, like, 10K plus reviews or whatever, because yeah, eBay is getting a little sketchy right now. All right, you saw Mancera Black Gold in the thumbnail. Thank you for the segue. Let's talk about Black Gold. All right, Mancera Black Gold, another fragrance I'm looking forward to wearing in the fall. You can probably pull this one off in the summer. It does have like a bit of this like patchouli kind of darkness to it, to where that's up for debate. But I mean, it's not a summer fragrance, but you could maybe wear it in the summer. This has been termed as niche Acqua di Gio Profumo, which I definitely can understand that. Doesn't smell like Profumo. You don't get all the green aspects that you get, from Acqua di Gio, those aromatics that make Acqua di Gio. But you do get a violet leaf that gives it this ozonic quality. And the way it's done here is really blended beautifully. It develops quite nicely. A funny way to describe this fragrance that I heard once is it's like a piece of charcoal took a shower, which is exactly what this smells like. A piece of charcoal that has been taking a shower and is freshened up. So if you can imagine what that smells like, that's pretty close to Black Gold. Let me know if any of you guys have tried Black Gold before, what you think about it. There was a time when I was saying that this is my #1 favorite fragrance in my entire collection, and it probably still holds that title. I have been blessed to get some pretty awesome fragrances lately. So I don't know if it's still in that #1 spot, but definitely put it at least in top 10, probably top 5 still for sure. One that I go back to all the time. My favorite from Mancera, 100% my #1 Mancera. Black Gold. It's really slept on, and a beautiful fragrance. Day or night, dressed up, dressed down, anytime, any place. Masculine too, very masculine, aquatic, incensey, a lot going on here. Complex, but really just lovely. Just lovely. Black Gold is so good, guys. Try it. You're going to like it if you like the same stuff that I like. I shouldn't make statements like that. Just try it. Make your own opinion. Let me retract that. Yeah, they're putting batch codes on fakes. Yeah, and it wasn't even a good fake. It was I just from seeing the box, I could tell it was fake. Opened it up, paint was chipped, and I was like, okay, this is so clearly fake. And they had the audacity to offer me a partial refund, like ensuring me that this is not fake. And I'm like, they're like, we give you our word, this is an authentic product. And I'm like, your word means nothing. You sell fake fragrances you scam people for a living. Your word is meaningless. Take back your crap. I don't even feel good about returning it to you, because you're going to try this on someone else. But unfortunately, that's the only way that I can get the money back, is if I return their fake product. You should be proud when you get actual trolls. That means you built a successful channel. Yeah. That's a good way to look at it, and that's kind of how I look at it too. All things in good time, and who knows how far I'm gonna take this channel. I kind of like that it's a little bit more of a smaller community right now, because when channels get bigger, you start to question people's integrity. And I'm not saying all big channels don't have integrity. That's not what I'm saying. There are some that don't, and there are some that do, and then there's some that kind of fall in between. But when you have a smaller channel, it's I got nothing to gain here. I'm just doing this for fun, and just you're getting my authentic opinion, and I really have no outside influences in controlling what I can say or what I can't say or what I like or don't like. So that's one just benefit of being smaller. But yeah, watery charcoal. Yeah, like a charcoal piece of charcoal took a shower. I'm telling you, man, that's the best way I can describe it. Yeah. Yeah, you could wear it in the summer too. I don't think it's a summer fragrance technically, like, if you're gonna classify it. I think I put it more in, like, fall or spring. I think it's more transitional if I had to classify it, but yeah, you could wear it in the summer. I mean, you can wear whatever the hell you want, whenever you want, if you really wanna get into that talk. Yeah, yeah. See, I like it too because people are cool in here, and yeah, get people trolling you or whatever, and I can joke around, I can give people a hard time, and they won't get upset or whatever. All right, Y80P. I think I saw Joel wearing this yesterday or the other day. Yeah, guys, this is so good. This is so good. This is one of the best designer fragrances I've ever tried. Some people are going to say it's a little too sweet, a little too cloying, whatever, and I get that. Not everybody is into sweet fragrances the way that I am. I love sweet fragrances. I always have. For me, when a fragrance has a little bit of sweetness, it just makes it a little bit more interesting to me. A lot of times when a fragrance is missing some kind of sweet or fruity element, I feel like it doesn't have the full story, the full picture, and I kind of crave a little bit of little something sweet in a fragrance. Not necessarily in all fragrances, but a lot of the time I enjoy a little sweet nuance in my fragrance. Uh, the opening here has got this apple. I love apple. I think it's one of the best type of top notes to use in fragrance, and the way it's done here is beautiful. People say, there's sage in this, but I don't really get a lot of herbal type smell here. Mainly just apple, beautiful, bright, like citrus apple in the opening, and then a lot of ambroxan, shower gel freshness. So pretty standard. But it's got that YSL sparkle that I talk about sometimes. These YSL fragrances, I swear, they put something in them. There's like something that they're putting in there because they just have a shine and sparkle and attractiveness to the YSL fragrances that you don't really get with the other brands. It's really interesting to me, which is one big reason why I have more YSL than I think any other brand. I mean, Mancera maybe is right there with it, but yeah. Anyway, this is a great fragrance. I think it's going to be an all-time great blue fragrance. YEDP. I haven't tried the Y Live. I want to try that one, even though it was discontinued. And I heard the O Fresh is pretty good. I'd like to get my nose on that. But as far as the Intense, the Elixir, the EDP Intense, the Le Parfum, I put this at the number 1 spot, and then the Le Parfum at the number 2 spot. Let me know where you guys rank this as far as the Y line goes. But yeah, I think everybody, even people who are not into fragrances, could stand to benefit from owning YEDP, right? So that's gonna be the next one. Yeah, you see the dent too. Love this one. Want to try Y Live? I heard that one's kind of like the EDP mixed with Invictus, and it's got a little bit of sweetness to it too. So I bet I'd enjoy it. Let's do one more. Let's talk about what I forgot what I even put in the thumbnail at this point. I think I put Night Vision EDP in there. Keep the sweet train rolling. I mean, you can't really wear super sweet stuff in the summer, right? Comes across too cloying. So I kind of got to wear some of my sweeter stuff in the fall. But this is my go-to clubbing fragrance. Whenever somebody asks me for a clubbing fragrance, and I don't know how many clubbers we got in the chat. I mean, I wouldn't put it past any of you. I think you're all super cool, and I would be stoked if any of you came to any of the shows that I was playing and were in the club dancing your butts off. That would make me personally happy, but that may not suit your lifestyle at the current juncture. But anyway, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, if anybody asks me for clubbing fragrance, I always tell them this is the one, or 2 and 2 VIP Black. Those are kind of my two go-tos. Uh, really alluring here. It's like got this kind of like green Jolly Rancher type smell to it, a little bit of pistachio nuttiness to it. Still maintains some spices. It is a spice bomb, but certainly not as spicy as the original or the extreme. Kind of reins that back, but definitely has some. I just saw Patrick's comment. That's pretty funny. Certainly has some nice spices going on here to maintain that line. But yeah, have you guys tried this one? Most people don't rank it as their favorite spice bomb. For me, it is my favorite spice bomb. I'm actually going to spray a little bit of it on. I just keep looking at it here and throw a little bit on the wrist. Ooh, that is really good. That is really good. There's kind of like a fruity sweetness to it. Fresh, spicy is one thing that comes to mind. A very fresh, spicy fragrance. with some nice sweetness too. Just enough complexity to make it interesting for somebody that owns a good amount of fragrances, without having it be, a challenging wear. But you got to like sweet fragrances because there's a strong prominent sweetness here. It's not like a vanilla sweetness either. It's like I guess candied sweetness would be the best way to describe Night Vision EDP. But yeah, you're looking to turn some heads. You're definitely gonna have a good chance of doing that. As long as you got all the rest of your game on point. Vance likes YEDP. I bought YEDP Intense back in March. Barely wore it. Maybe I'll bust it back out for the fall. I think it's good for like office wear. If and also YEDP. People say they sell Sauvage all the time. In Los Angeles, I smell YEDP more than any other fragrance, and I think part of that is just because the performance and the projection on YEDP is monstrous. Especially if someone just sprays it on, it will fill a whole room, and that may be just the way my nose detects it, but I pick up YEDP like instantly. And that just may be my nose chemistry. I may just pick up the aromas and whatever chemicals they used in YEDP more easily, but I do smell it a good amount. And the EDP Intense kind of reins that sweetness in a little bit, makes it a little bit more, I guess, professional and work friendly. So I think it is a good work friendly fragrance. But if you're going to just get one, I kind of see the EDP Intense version as honestly a less intense version of the EDP, which is pretty funny. Sunday, it was a cooler day that day. Looks like Sauvage Forte was a letdown. I've seen some mixed results, and I think a lot of it has to do with the price point. It's kind of like the Y Elixir. And also it's an interesting release because this water-based fragrance, this is a very targeted market that they're going after. They obviously have some segment of their market that wants a water-based fragrance, and they couldn't offer that to them, so that they created this. I really don't think that they created this fragrance to be sold to even the general public or fragrance enthusiasts. They have a segment of their market that they weren't addressing with a water-based solution that they obviously saw that there was demand for, and so they made that for them, for that small market, just so they can capture more market share. Right? These are for-profit companies. They think about releasing fragrances and in a different way than we do as consumers. So, personally, I have no interest in it, but it's also not a fragrance that was made for me. And just going on Sauvage a little bit, man, the EDP is so good. I kind of go back and forth between the EDP and the Parfum. And yesterday I was just doing like a side by side. I really liked them both, but the EDP had like some kind of like sparkle to it that I was just like in love with. I was really digging that. I actually wore that last night for a little bit just because I haven't worn Sauvage in a little bit. And I was like, man, I kind of want to wear a little Sauvage. I miss it. Everyone's talking about the Eau Forte, Eau Schmorte, and I'm like, let me just wear the EDP. It's the best one. Yeah, those are my thoughts on Sauvage Eau Forte. I haven't tried it yet, so I can't tell you about if I think it smells good or not. I haven't tried it yet, but yeah. Yep. We let us know, Joel, what are some that you're actually specifically looking forward to wearing, and then we can discuss. And hopefully you don't throw ones with like crazy French long pronunciation, so I gotta either embarrass myself here, or I gotta pull out my French accent. No one wants to hear that. Patrick's a chess clubber. Patrick, what is your chess rating, if you don't mind me asking? And I'll tell you mine, but you may think less of me after I share that with you. Diorum 2020, Gian, thanks for being here, my man. That is a good fragrance. I was actually thinking about wearing that today. It was definitely crossing my mind. But yeah, it's a great fragrance. Thanks for being here. Woody, Isoe Super, perfect for everyday use, masculine, great projection. And when you can kind of go nose blind too, because that Isoe Super really punches you in the old nostril. I only tried the EDT of Night Vision. I heard the EDP is like mix of the EDT with some Wanted by Night. Interesting. EDT was maybe a little ultra male vibes. Maybe that accurate. The EDT of Night Vision most often gets compared to Invictus, and the EDP, maintains some of that Invictus sweetness. It's just more refined and overall better. But Yeah, I Wanted by Night with the I don't know if I get all that because you get a lot of like warmth out of Wanted by Night. I smelled it a while ago. It's been a while, but from what I remember, it was really like a warm, spicy fragrance. Whereas Night Vision EDP is really fresh, spicy. It's much fresher than something like a Wanted by Night. But I think people maybe just be comparing the spices because there are a decent amount of spices in Night Vision EDP, so that may be where the comparison is. Um, but yeah, closer to Invictus style sweetness than Ultra Male overall for both the EDT and the EDP. John Carlo, my man, hope you're doing well. You're smelling really good. One of the best summer tropical fragrances, if not the best of all time. Virgin Island Water from Creed. John Carlo is out here stunting on us, letting it be known that he is the best smelling person in the chat. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you, man. Got to try Sauvage Parfum. Think it's by far the best, more ambery. Signature and Broxton is toned down, but still there. It's mature Sauvage. Yeah, it is. It's more refined, more matured. It's more like a adult Sauvage. Definitely excellent fragrance. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And don't care who says it's overplayed, whatever. Think that's all BS. You know, most people don't even wear fragrance. And I love it. I mean, I can't just say that enough. Found a dupe for Sauvage ADT and words the other day. Of all my collections, that's the one my wife compliments. That's so funny. Yeah, I've noticed a trend. It's like we have like all this expensive like niche stuff, right? We think this is like all exquisite, and then the ones that get you the compliments are like your $15 rack store cheapie, right? It's just the way it goes. But not everyone has the appreciation for the finer, more exquisite aromas of the world like you, Dan. I mean, you have quite a refined palate at this point. So you can't expect everyone to be on your level, my man. But hey, at least a compliment from a cheapie is better than none at all. Am I right? Yeah, John Carlos kicking our ass today. But he deserves it, man. He's an OG. All right, let's keep it going. Okay, this one, we got to talk about this. I've seen blasphemy online, so much blasphemy saying that this isn't great. And this is amazing. Guys, if this didn't cost, twice as much as La Nuit de l'Homme, if people weren't hung up on the price, everybody would just be wearing this instead of La Nuit de l'Homme. If they cost the same, everybody would be picking this because it's got better performance. You know, everyone loves their performance. So I like the lavender note here. I like the kind of blue vibes it gives off, the like shower gel lavender type freshness it provides. Now, don't get me wrong. I love OG La Nuit de l'Homme. I've got a bigger dent in that bottle than I do in this because I kind of saved this one. This is my go-to for date night. First date fragrance. I just go with this. I wore Strong With You Tobacco the other week, and I'm not doing that again. I think that was too much for a first introduction. That was too much ambery, warm spiciness. She wasn't ready for all that. So reeling it back, going back to Blue Electrique, but it does smell pretty similar to the original. I think that's kind of part of the blowback too, is people have the original and then they get this and they're like, dang, this is kind of redundant to the original. And that's actually one thing that I wish I would have known, is just how similar it does smell to the original, just with added performance. I overpaid for this bottle, but I'm happy with it. I don't regret 1 minute of 1 cent of what I spent on Blue Electrique. I absolutely love it. I got to show some love to it because lately there's been a trend of people putting this down, and I am here to bring it back up and tell you how good it is. Hard to get in the US. Don't feel like you have to own it if you own the OG La Nuit de l'Homme. But if you're in Europe or you happen to have a desire for this fragrance the way I did, and you are a fan of the OG, you're going to like this one too. It does perform much better than the original, at least the formulations that we have at this current moment. The performance is like 3 times as much. So if not for that, that's one reason. But I actually do enjoy the scent profile as well. No compliments on your $400 mind games when you're $15 clearance space. Everyone telling you smell great. Yeah, I know, right? What's your favorite mind games, Patrick? I'd be interested to know. I've only tried the Soulmate collection, and I've been thinking lately, if I was ever to buy a Mind Games fragrance, which I don't know if I could ever, in good positive mindset spend $350 on a single bottle. Especially with where I'm at, you know, in my financial career or whatever, that would be pretty irresponsible. But also reality check, if I add up all the fragrances that I buy in a month, it'd probably equal that. So, but yeah, Veery would be the one that I think I'd get the most use out of. I could see myself wearing Veery, getting the most use out of it. And it's green, it's fresh, it's got a slight powdery tone to it, and it's unique without being challenging, which I really like about it. And green fragrances are a little bit hit or miss for me. There's a little bit of like vetiver and like woods in it. It's got a lot going on, but still very wearable. And I'd consider it mass appealing, not too challenging. Yeah, but there's several good ones. Leonora for the ladies is amazing. And then, you know, everybody knows about French Defense. It's just Forte 193, the same as Chanel Parfum Wild. Yeah. I mean, I think the price point is really the criticism. I mean, if it was an $80 fragrance, I think people would definitely view it a little differently. It reminds me a lot of Y Elixir. It was kind of like the same thing, you know. They're charging a lot, and when you have a certain price point, there's an expectation that needs to be met. And then you smell it, and you're like, oh yeah, this is a designer fragrance. It's not worth this price. So I don't know. I'm not like, there's other releases that I'm more excited to smell, especially Bulgari Pour Homme Eau de Parfum. I haven't seen any reviews on that. I thought it was gone, but apparently it's in Macy's. Patrick let me know. He let me know that they have it. So I actually want to get out to my Macy's and get my nose on that one. I'm most excited actually to smell that. Hermes Bellamy. I'm not familiar with that one. Back to classic vintage this year. That one is before my time. Let us know what that one's all about. There's so many like hidden gems from Hermes, especially in their more premium line. While we're talking about Hermes, let's talk about H24 for a sec. So it's the Eau de Parfum. People, I mean, I say that it gives me a kind of a banana milkshake smell, especially the Eau de Parfum. Banana runts, and like fresh laundry sheet. It's a very musky fragrance. It's pretty unique, and it's a new fragrance profile. I don't know of anything that smells like H24. As I've gone on wearing this line, I think the original is my favorite. I enjoy the freshness that the original provides, but in the cooler weather, the Eau de Parfum is going to be a really nice choice. If you own one, you don't really need the others. They are very redundant. They do have the same DNA, and I don't think they change up the scent profile too much to where you need to own the whole line. Obviously, if you consider yourself a collector, you're going to want to try them all. The new Herbs Vives is pretty good too, but for me, the Eau de Parfum is one that, when I think fall time, is the one that I'm going to be gravitating towards mostly. And let's do one more. 1 Million Lucky was rumored to be discontinued at one point, and now it's clearly not, because it's everywhere. So they probably discontinued it and then brought it back, which they need to do to Bulgari's Aqua Atlantique. They need to bring that one back. You know, they're bringing back some of these discontinued fragrances that we used to love, specifically Invictus Aqua. They brought that back from Paco Rabanne. They brought this back like 2 years ago or a year ago or something, or maybe they never discontinued it. But they need to bring back Bulgari's Aqua Atlantique, because I missed the train on that one and have not been able to locate it. So I would love to see that one come back. And I know a lot of people who are fans of it would like to see it come back too, so they can get, you know, a bottle at a not overly premium, like expensively overpriced price, right? All right. Anyway, let's talk about this fragrance. Plum, sweetness, hazelnut, I think. Yeah, there's like a hazelnut accord. It's quite unique. It doesn't have that same 1 million scent profile that the original has, that the Parfum has. This one goes its own way a little bit. But it's got a uniqueness to it that is super dope. Like, you should get your nose on this one. If you like sweet fragrances, another straight banger. On the more youthful side, as sweet fragrances tend to be, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care. I like youthful fragrances. I like these, you know, call them teenager fragrances if you want. That's just what I like. And I've always liked sweet fragrances, and I've always liked sharp, aggressive kind of fragrances that make you feel some type of way, that move you, that really are a little bit abrasive. I enjoy that kind of stuff. for better or for worse. So plum, candied sweetness, hazelnut, beautiful fragrance here. Great attention grabbing type fragrance. Performance is average. It's not as strong as you think. You think when you smell this type of fragrance that it's going to be like a beast, like an 8 to 10 hour beast, just because of how much it projects in the first hour or two. But surprisingly, it's like a 4 or 5 hour fragrance. This is an eau de toilette concentration. So, but whatever it is, I love it. 1 Million Lucky. I ranked this one at the number 1 spot, and then I put the Parfum at number 2 and 1 Million Cologne, which I talk about a lot. If you watch some of my content, I love the cologne a lot too, that people don't really like. Put that maybe as my number 3, but for the fall time, undoubtedly, this is my opinion, the best 1 Million for the fall. Let's get caught up in the chat. And yeah, keep the party rolling. We'll be paying more attention to Guerlain, Mitsuko, Robert Peak Bandit, and the OG vintage Givenchy Gentleman, and gasp, the OG Bijan Homme. That is a lot of fragrance that I've not tried, but maybe the other people can appreciate what you're talking about, JCB. JCB is like 10 years or 20 years ahead of me in the fragrance game. If anybody needs to have a channel, it's Giancarlo, because he's got crazy experience. He's probably smelled, I don't know, how many fragrances would you say you've smelled, Giancarlo? Like at least 5,000. So I continue to learn, and I continue to be put on to great scents from Giancarlo. I've only tried the Forward from Mind Games. I don't try Gambit and Veeri. That's getting raved about. Yeah, the Forward's pretty good. Pomelo and kind of like this creaminess to it. Pretty solid. Gambit is good. You gotta like if you like Lattafa Assad, if you like those kind of like 80s kind of style, modern fougere, I guess. I mean, Gambit is a fougere style fragrance. It doesn't come across too old manish. It does come across like pretty professional and assertive, like a lot of fougeres do. You know, it's a pretty masculine scent profile. Yeah, I think you'd like it. I think it's a great fragrance. I wore it several times, and I do enjoy it. I just think it's a little bit more situational. It's not something that I'd want to wear all the time. It's definitely more of a dressed up fragrance. It's not as casual as something like Veeri. Veeri is very kind of easygoing, fresh, green, a little bit woodsy, not difficult to understand, but also has a premium nature to it. No, man, not shame on you. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and it's kind of good not to smell everything right away. You know, sometimes I'd wish I just took more time to smell more things and enjoy the journey, man. Don't feel like you gotta go buy samples, and that's one thing I kind of dislike about the whole fragrance game. You know, that was one thing that kind of like kept me from starting channel for a while. Like I didn't want it to just be all about consumerism and you got to buy and you got to spend. And so everything in good time, my man, everything in good time. Hermès Equipage, man, you really you're putting me on some crazy good stuff here. All right, Joel, thanks for being here. Thanks for kicking all those trolls out and putting them in timeout, and, you know, keep holding it down. Hopefully they don't notice your absence and then begin a hostile takeover of the fragrance fraternity, but hopefully we can make it here. DNA is metallic green bananas. Yeah, definitely metallic. Certainly metallic. Metallic is a good word to describe it. Musky. And I've been saying it smells like bananas for the longest time. I'm not going to claim that I started that, because, you know, who am I to have started something in Fragcom, right? But I've been pretty much saying that since the Eau de Toilette came out. I even had that banana smell from the Eau de Toilette. People gave me shit for it too. They're like, bananas, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I smell what I smell. And I guess it took to get to the Eau de Parfum for people to also get that banana, because you get the banana milkshake type vibe even more in the Eau de Parfum. But I even got an Eau de Toilette the first time that I smelled it. I need to learn to decant and send decant to Aqua Atlantique. I mean, I've been saying yes when people want to send me stuff. I've been saying yes. I mean, you guys have been really really grateful, and if you guys want to do a swap, I'd be down. You know, I don't like to just accept things without, you know, I mean, I feel like I should do something in return. Not necessarily like tit for tat, but I don't like to just accept things without. I like to offer value too, I guess, is what I like to. I always think of myself as I'm here to just enhance the world for you, for your fragrance experience, for the people around me. I am here to enhance. So I appreciate you guys sending me stuff. And if you want me to decant some stuff of mine that you're interested in, I'd be happy to do that. And if you're in Southern California, could even meet up and do some bottle swaps if you're into that kind of thing. Got to wear my 1 million lucky in the fall. Get kind of this caramelized popcorn vibe. Yeah, I could see that. That's an interesting way to describe it. I've never heard anybody mention it that way. I could definitely see that though. Initial sweet blast of plum, hazelnut kind of fades off. Yeah, the hazelnut does kind of fade off. It's an interesting fragrance. It's kind of it's certainly unique. And as far as designers go, it's pretty amazing how unique it is for being a designer. A second Jack Carlos out of jail. Yeah, I mean I think he's got like over 1,000, maybe 2,000 fragrances. I mean, he's gonna, you get these channels that talk about the same 30 fragrances over and over, and I'm guilty of that a little bit. I mean, we're all limited to what we have. There's only so many tens, so many ways you can organize 10 fragrances until you run out of fragrances, right? But I mean, I'm sure he'd be able to put us onto a lot of good stuff. I mean, no pressure, obviously. Not everybody wants to be on camera and put their face on a public forum, and I certainly understand that. Um, so no pressure, but I know that we get some cool recommendations at least from him. I have the new Chanel EDP and the one EDP I will soon for fall. Great sense. I mean, you can't go wrong with those, Vance. You got solid fragrances every time you drop your scent of the day. It's always solid. I thought about it. Timings, everything. Just can't fully commit to the channel this time, sadly. Thanks. Yeah, and that's smart. And yeah, that's smart. I mean, that's kind of one thing that I struggle with too. Is like I have all these different interests, right? That I'm pursuing, and like sometimes I get really zoned into one. And if I was just doing fragrance content, I could probably have a better channel and be more consistent with the content. But I try to keep it casual, and the way I look at it is like I'm in it for the long term, and if I enjoy doing it, I'll just keep doing it. And if you guys, more importantly, find value from it, that's the most important thing for me, because I'm not really here to make myself look cool or because I want to be in camera or whatever, because I want attention. I'm just I've found that we got 13 people watching. There's 13 people that find this at least somewhat interesting and engaging and want to be here to talk about it. So if I can provide that space, I'm happy to do that. So let's get to the next fragrance, shall we? Enough of my philosophy on life. I know that's not what you guys are here for. Armani Code Parfum. This is so good. Class in a bottle, luxurious. Every time I smell this, I feel a little bit richer, even though I'm actually a little bit poor because I just sprayed out some fragrance. But at least I feel a little richer when I wear this. It's got that Tonka Bean Armani Code kind of signature DNA, that I think it's like a suede type of accord or whatever. It's got that leathery-ish nuance going on with it. I think this one is the only one with the magnetic cap. Do you guys know? I know the EDT. I mean, this line has become so confusing and hard to follow. Armani has just kind of gone crazy with these flankers and just rebottling the same fragrance in a different bottle. It's gotten very difficult to follow. All that to just be said, I think this is the only one with a magnetic cap. So just a little perk if you're interested in the parfum. But it's got iris. It's got an iris that freshens it up. It's not like an earthy, rooty iris. It is like a kind of designer, synthetic type of powdery iris to it. But yeah, it's one drawback is performance. I get kind of bad performance here. I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people get pretty good performance. So maybe a case of going nose blind. I really don't know. But for me personally, don't get the best performance out of it. But that's not always something that's really important to me. The smell is always number one to me. And I love the class and elegance that this provides. So Armani Code Parfum. Have you guys tried it? What do you think about it? Let me know. And Mr. Todd, thank you for being here, my man. I don't know if I've seen you before. Appreciate you stopping by wearing Ajmal Shiro. I appreciate you being here. And never tried that fragrance, but I know the men of the fragrance fraternity have impeccable taste, so I wouldn't put it past you to say you're smelling damn good today, Todd. Thanks for being here, my man. To Me Continuum, also a good fragrance house. To Me, yes, I certainly agree with that. You guys know, or maybe you don't know, but I love Awaken, which is their blue fragrance freshie. I think Atlas is good. I think they're all actually good. There is not one that I would say is a bad fragrance, to be frank. I could see maybe actually there is one bad one. I take that back. Unwind. Yeah, I don't think Unwind is very good. It's kind of like a woody herbal sage fragrance. It's not very appealing to me. I had a bottle and got rid of it. It's the only one that I would say is actually legitimately bad. But if you like it, this is not a personal shot at you. Um, just my taste. I think that's the one that you can probably skip. And then Kinetic is interesting because it is similar to Sauvage. It's basically cherry Sauvage. So maybe give some flack to that one. But Continuum is a beautiful wintertime fragrance. It's their cold weather staple, I guess, besides 19 degree, but that one kind of goes a different direction. Continuum is more on the, I guess, I've only smelled it a couple times, but I just remember it being like a really nice, warm, spicy, masculine, kind of woody. Uh, I think like ambery, like wintertime men's fragrance, really, really good. And I mean, I love Awaken for just daily use. It's one of my favorite blues. Um, yeah, absolutely. No pressure, dude. I'm just shooting the shit over here on the live stream, kind of spur of the moment, whatever comes to mind. I dare you not to try Collage Empire Victor, man. John Carlos over here trying to burn nostrils. Awesome vanilla and unisex. Vanilla lovers in the chat. John Carlo is coming with the plug. He's hooking you up. Calling all vanilla lovers Collage Empire Victory. He has not given a bad recommendation yet, so I would not put it past him to throw out another banger. Looking forward to Eros Energy. Yeah, the hype is growing. It's sizzling. Can you feel it? It's building. Yeah, I mean that one should be pretty good. Pretty good. I liked Flame a lot, so interested to see where they go with the energy flanker. Heavy hitter Armani Parfum. Yeah, I mean, you guys wanted the fall fragrances, Got to give you the goods. Just got a bottle of Code Parfum, textbook clean work scent. Going to be heavy office wear for me this fall. Yeah, and I think it really has like a sophistication to it that many office fragrances may not have. And I think you could also wear it on a date night. I think it's a little bit more versatile than just an office fragrance, but certainly carries a sophistication and class that it's kind of, not many fragrances do. There are definitely, some to where you think it's classy, and that's just not just because it's an Armani bottle. I love the blend on it. I mean, yo, you are today. That's funny. Yeah, another fellow Iris lover and longtime member of the fraternity. Thanks for being here, Henry. Hope you're doing well. Henry's always wearing some really nice Iris fragrances, which I can certainly get down on. So let's talk about another Iris on the more affordable side, but quality is good here. And you may, this is Gary's Den Le Parfum, clone of Dior Homme Parfum. And I haven't smelled the real one. I have Dior Homme Intense, which is a good bit more sweet than this. This goes in a more like leathery direction and a little bit woodier, which I really like. But yeah, if you really like powdery, if you like powdery Iris, I know not everybody does. It's kind of a bit more divisive scent profile. Check this out. It's really worth the price. I mean, a lot of times, you can skip the cheapies and just save up for the better designers or whatever. This is underrated. This is really solid. Really, really solid. Good quality. Yes, it is Fragrance By's brand or whatever, which doesn't carry much weight in the world of fragrance. Yes. But I really enjoy it, and I think the quality is pretty solid. So a good powdery Iris. And Dior Homme Parfum is like really expensive these days. It's like $175 from discounters for Dior Homme Parfum. I mean, the value for money when you're comparing this to that and overall quality here, I think you can really make a case to get this at that point. I think it really has a good value just because the original is so expensive these days. And this doesn't smell cheap. You won't spray this on and think, oh, that's a cheap fragrance. At least I don't. I don't really get that feeling. I think it punches way above its weight class. I only give you guys stuff that I can get behind, No shilling over here. I'm usually really sensitive and picky about powdery scents. Really dislike them, but even I can enjoy Armani Code Parfum as our fresh and nice woods in the background. Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad that it's working out for you and that you enjoy it. Yeah, I know that you definitely are not as big into the powdery fragrances as I am, but I'm really happy that that one has worked out for you and you're getting some good use out of it at the office. I think that your coworkers are going to definitely paying you a compliment or two if that's the sort of thing that happens in your office. I think that one's gonna get the job done for you. Oh, he's been gatekeeping. Oh no. Miami brand, interesting. Lilia's Aromas, coconut over ice and lemon. Wow. And these performs like 25, $30. Interesting. Where do we even get those? Do we have to go to fly to Miami? I know Vince has some connections over there. He's got some, high-end hotels that like to offer him free trips over there. So maybe if he's kind enough to take me along on one of his, excursions through Miami, through city nights, um, and I can accompany him on one of his VIP, private jets to Miami, I can stop by Lilia's Aromas and possibly even sample coconut over ice and lemon. I mean, the name sounds good. I'm going to take a trip to retailers this weekend, see how many of the new releases I can smell. Looking for Profondo Parfum. Yes, me too. Eau de Ombre Leather, the new Ombre Leather. 1 Million Gold, Spice Bomb Dark Leather, and the Superleggera. Me and you both, my man. And if you haven't yet, it's not like a new release, but I think it came out last year. But if you've not tried Kilian's Born to Be Unforgettable, and they should have it in Sephora. That's where I smelled mine. If you have not gotten your nose on Kilian Born to Be Unforgettable, try it out. Have an open mind about it because it is a little bit different, but I think it's going to interest you. I really enjoy it, and I've grown to like it more and more. I think it's highly slept on. It's got a Coca-Cola vibe, so you got to like that Coca-Cola note. And it's got a prominent lime, so like lime Coca-Cola, but don't think Tonka Cola because Tonka Cola is a super vanilla ambery wintertime scent. This is a fresh kind of summer spring type fragrance. Alberto Marias, it does give me some far reminiscence of like a light blue intense, not the same fragrance at all, but just somewhere out in the distance, it reminds me of light blue intense plus Coca-Cola and lime. So just a couple of things to circulate in your mind if you've not tried Kilian's Born to Be Unforgettable. I think that one is a special fragrance and really is an unforgettable scent. Like it's the type of scent that where you're going to make an impression on someone. It's not just like a safe play, fresh and clean, kind of forgettable, but he smelled nice, but I don't really have like a distinct memory. But Born to Be Unforgettable is one of those scents. It's like, wow, he had this very distinct smell about him. And it was so unique, but really good. And I've never smelled anybody that smelled like that. It could really, it's like one of those standouts that is also fresh at the same time. So check that one if you get to. I got it like bars of gold or silver, only for special events. That my bottle might outlive me. Oh man. Well, I hope not. I hope that you can make it to 120, and that bottle will be long expired and used, and you'll be on to another bottle by then. How about that? It is pricey though. I've been enjoying Dior Homme Intense as well. And did I put Ralph's Cobalt Elixir back here to talk about? I should have. I didn't. Oh well, whatever. We'll talk about this one. Yeah, he likes Born to Be Unforgettable. Yeah, I do too. Me and him are like two people on the internet that I've seen that have appreciation for that fragrance. Jeff has a really good taste, I've noticed. I really respect his taste, and we line up for the most part. There are some fragrances where we differ, but I think it's because we're both in Los Angeles, and we both kind of. I really don't know what he does on his day to day or whatever, but I know he's entrepreneur lifestyle. I mean, there are some similarities in, as far as like lifestyle and where we live, and he likes fresh fragrances as well. So I'd love to work on some content with him one day. If he has any interest in that. I mean, I don't really know what he'd stand to benefit from that. I mean, it'd be more of him just kind of being a cool guy. To have me on his channel is obviously much bigger than mine. Anyway, Invictus Victory Elixir. Have you guys tried this one? It is vanilla to the max. And normally I'm not the biggest like vanilla as far as like having vanilla be the prominent note in a fragrance. Not necessarily my style always. Nishane Ani. Sorry, I know a lot of people love that one. That one was not for me. Way too prominent with the vanilla. Way too focused around vanilla. I much prefer vanilla as a base note or as a supporting note than the start of the show. But for whatever reason, this one works. Paco Rabanne seems to work for me. I've noticed Paco Rabanne. I mean, I like the fun, youthful, kind of sweeter, youthful stuff. So that makes sense, right? You get a resinous feel to this as well. You get kind of like this benzoin resinous feel to it. You get insane performance. You get a prominent sweetness coming from the vanilla as well. It's got a little bit of a creaminess to it. Don't get much spice here. And it is quite a linear fragrance, but if you haven't tried it, get your nose on it. I tried the original Victory, and I thought that was one of the most awful fragrances I've ever tried. That was, my nose was a little bit greener back then. I have tried it again since. I didn't think it was as awful the first time I tried it. I had to actually, it was a scrubber. But the Elixir is far better improvement. Very sweet, more of a wintertime fragrance than even a fall fragrance, but insane performance, insane appeal with Invictus Victory Elixir. Not a big fan of these like corny trophy bottles, but it is what it is. It's all about the fragrance inside that smells great. Let me spray it actually one time just to see if I get any. Gotta love when you get a little bit of it in your eye, right? That's always fun. Oh God, guys, it is so good. I don't remember if there's praline, but you do get a little bit of this like praline sweetness as well. Ooh, just a really nice like cake, like creaminess to the vanilla, like eating a piece of cake, basically. Yeah, there's a little bit of that like praline and like a little bit of this resinous touch to it, but not overbearing, not overdone. Yeah, yeah, vanilla cupcake. The original smelled like vanilla cupcake too. Yeah, the original it was like a patchouli bomb and just I don't know. It was weird. It was a weird fragrance. I was a little apprehensive about trying the elixir. And you know, you always know when you come into a fragrance already kind of expecting not to like it, and then it blows you away, then you must really love it because it turned me. You know, I usually go into most fragrances with a positive mindset. I usually approach fragrances. How do you guys do it? This is how I like to do it. I like to approach a new fragrance telling myself I'm gonna like it. I like to approach it in a positive mindset, like, okay, I want to like this fragrance because you know I want to like it. I want to understand it, and only when it completely turns me, then I'm like, okay, I'm not really digging this. I need to wear it 2 or 3 more times, and if by the third time I still feel the same, it's just not for me. But this one was actually vice versa. I kind of had in my mind that I'm not gonna like it because I had preconceptions from the original, and it flipped the switch. I was like, wow, that is amazing. Truly amazing. Where the heck was I in the chat? I always lose my place. I think that's where I was. Blue Moon Ginger Dash really interests me. Yeah, that one. I mean, just the name sounds really good. I've tried the apple brandy on the rocks, and that one was not for me. I don't think it's an awful fragrance. I just particularly didn't enjoy it. I would much prefer like an angel share over it. I think boozy fragrances I've noticed are kind of not always my jam. I'm very selective with fragrances with a prominent booziness. I've noticed that's not always my favorite type of nuance to have. But I mean, I love ginger and ambroxan, so Blue Moon Ginger Dash sounds really good. There was another fragrance I heard Scott Aromatico talk about. It was Moonlight in Heaven, which was like a fresh mango, which is what he said. Have you guys tried Moonlight in Heaven? I'm interested to know more about that one. That one kind of piqued my interest. But yeah, Killian is an interesting brand that I would like to try more of as well. I'm on the same page. Have you tried CK Aromatic Essence, the newest Eternity flanker at Sephora? I thought it wasn't bad. Have you or anyone smelled? I have not. I have not. Has anybody else smelled Aromatic Essence? I like the name, but no, I wasn't even aware that that was a thing. John Carlo, it's on his radar. So apparently, some people. I mean, there's obviously people more informed than I. I don't know it all, folks. Don't claim to either. Jeff teaches dance classes. I asked in one of his lives. Yeah, I know he kind of does like a couple things, right? I think he also manages some actors or something like that. I don't know. I'd be interested to talk to him more. I mean, I watch his content and I try to hop in on his lives. He doesn't do it as full like on a consistent time. Like he kind of changes it up. So I kind of got to like try to catch him when I can. But I like his content. I like his vibe. He's a good dude from what I see. Love Superleggera. You're liking that new one? Hell yeah. I can't wait to try it. It should be good. It's been too long since we had a new Chanel. And I thought it was really funny how it came, like, Randy posted that it was a thing, and then people came out saying it was fake, that it's not real, and then it turns out that it was. And it was Jeff. He actually talked to someone at an LA like boutique, Chanel boutique, if it's real, and they said it was not. They were assuring him that it's not. So that just goes to show, they don't know. They're just kind of saying stuff. They know just as much as we know. That's what I learned from that whole experience. You like Profondo Parfum and the Eau de Parfum, but it did not last on my skin, but both are good. Interesting. Yeah, I have a 4.2 ounce of the original Profondo I'm still working through, and I really love Absolute. I'm kind of like maxed out on my Aqua de Jo right now, but I'd be interested to try that Profondo Parfum. I have a feeling it's going to really move me, and I'm going to want a bottle of it just because it's kind of in that wheelhouse of stuff that I like to wear. So maybe good for my wallet that I haven't tried it yet, but it's on my radar for sure. Figure hit the Raxter Stone. Some same time discounters get maybe. Yeah, the Raxters have actually been better lately. They were pretty bad for a while, but lately they've improved. So it's good to see because they I got Le Male Parfum for $70, a 4.2 ounce. Yeah, I mean, and I love that fragrance. I've got another 4.2 ounce that I'm almost all the way through, which is crazy. When's the last time you finished a 4.2 ounce bottle? So I was happy to get that. I got Eros Flame that I found over there, 30 mil for, how much did I pay for that? I think it was $30 for 30 mil. So they have good prices. I don't think that they've noticed that fragrances have gotten more expensive. Like that trend has not hit Ross yet, or they're just not. They haven't really raised their prices like the way that everybody else has, is what I'm trying to say. So it's nice to see you can still find some good deals over there. And it was a problem because they had no good fragrances, prices raised or not. But now it seems like they're getting some decent stock in. So it's really nice to see. The little Superleggera, yeah, I heard it was also similar to Edition Blanche, but not as lemon forward. Has my interest. Has definitely my interest. I'll take that advice on Try Sauvage Forte. Got to give it a fair shake. Yeah, it's good to wear a fragrance 3 times, I think. And also, yeah, I just had this experience recently with Kajal Ferris. I'll grab it so I'm talking about it. Always better to show the bottle, right? So, Kajal Ferris. So this is my experience with this fragrance. Got it in. I did this. Sprayed it like this. And then I did what I always tell you guys not to do. I went right in on it. Right in on it. And even now, I'm like, whoa, that is a lot of aromatics. I don't know about that. That was my initial thought. Right. But I wore it 2 or 3 times, and now it's in my top 10, guys. This is so good. Like, wear the fragrance, try to really wear it, or try to smell it from a distance, try to catch it in the air, try to get the fragrance the way that it was intended to be smelled. And I'm not taking shots because I always feel like I need to explain this because we see a lot of our favorite reviewers that are getting up close or whatever, and I think part of it is they're more experienced and they're I guess, palette is expanded enough to where they can get right up in close to it because they're trying to identify notes and stuff. And their experience lends to them the fact that they can really get up close on it and understand the fragrance. But just for me and my experience level, for me to understand the wearing experience, I really need it to kind of mix with the air a little bit. Because Light Blue Intense, another example, went in super close, was like, well, that is not for me. Wore it, loved it. So if you're looking for a niche Sauvage, this is essentially that with more aromatics, more of the lavender, and less of like the synthetic ambroxan take on it. But not exactly Sauvage. So don't, expect this to smell just like Sauvage, but certainly something that you could compare it to would be a Sauvage with a little bit higher quality and a little bit more niche, like take with the aromatic prominence versus the ambroxan blue shower gel type prominence. But it still has that same like sparkle and freshness, which I really enjoy. I love when a fragrance has like an effervescence to it that really makes my wearing experience quite enjoyable. Vince, are you still here, man? I haven't seen you comment in a while. Uh-oh, we got the big boss in the building, TLTG, my man. If you want to jump in, you are welcome to. It would always be a pleasure to have Big Ross the boss in the fraternity. What are you saying here, Patrick? We already read that comment. Scott Aromatico is a pretty underrated channel, it seems. Seems like a decent guy. Maybe you have him as a guest on one of your lives one day. I would love to have him as a guest. I don't think he knows who I am. I actually don't think he knows who I am. I mean, why would he know who I am? I'm just a dude in the fraternity with a bunch of cologne. But maybe, yeah, I mean, I haven't reached out to him, so it's kind of like on me. I gotta hit him up, right? Gotta make it happen. But let's see, Vance, you're heading out. Okay, for sure, dude. I appreciate you stopping by. Rest easy. Have a great night's sleep. Appreciate you being here. It seems like things are winding down at the Fragrance Fraternity, which is very cool. Stopping by for a few minutes, getting ready for bed. Got to get those Z's in because we get the gains when we sleep. That's when we make the gains, is during the snooze time. So thanks for stopping in, Ross. Showing some love to the fraternity, gracing us with your virtual sillage. I don't know what you're wearing today. I kind of missed your post, but I'm sure you're smelling good. You got some good options. Let's see. I think I talked about all the fragrances that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I did. So guys, let me know maybe something that you're looking forward to wearing, and then we're going to wrap this up. We've been at it for a little bit over an hour. We've had a solid core group of 10 to 15 people, which I really appreciate, you guys. Try to make this fun for you. Try not to ramble too much. Try not to get too philosophical, and try to at least provide some useful information as far as what these fragrances smell like and what you might want to consider before using your hard-earned money on a scent. The Fragrance Fraternity continues to spray. I'll just put it that way. Leave it at that. Let's see. Henry's got a little story for us here. I heard patients complaining about oh my gosh, no way. I heard patients complaining about a nasty chemical smell near my office. I became self-conscious. I realized it was a nearby office being repainted. Oh, thank God, man. That's so like, it turns your stomach when you're like, oh God, is it my fragrance? I hope they're not talking about me. I don't want them to think I'm like the weird cologne guy at work. I don't know if you were here when I told the story about when I went to a focus group wearing Jasada Ambassador and I way oversprayed. And I was so self-conscious at this focus group. I was so awkward. I'll just tell the short version again. But basically, we were all around a table, and the table was like here. You sit a normal distance away from this table, to put your arms on the table, whatever, how you normally sit. And I was straight up like, I was back here. I was so far away from the table just because I was sitting between these two girls and I wanted to give them some room so that they could, not be completely choked out. Because all I was smelling was Jasada Ambassador. Had the windows rolled down in the car on the way to this focus group, just like hoping like some of it kind of like evaporates off of me. Just all four windows down, like, oh God, I oversprayed. I wish I had another shirt. Come on, like make it more office appropriate by the time I get there. And I mean, little do I know, they were like, "Oh, wow, this guy smells really good. I wonder what fragrance he's wearing. I think I should ask him." But in my mind, I was like, "Wow, why did I spray so much?" It's easy to get carried away though, you really like this fragrance, you wanna just keep spraying it. And like next thing you know, can't spray less, could have sprayed more, can't spray less. Gotta rock it now, gotta own it, gotta be blowing up the room. Live and you learn. The main fall rotation for Patrick's Life is gonna be Prada Ocean Parfum. Classy, classy stuff there. Really enjoy it, man. So Armani Code Parfum, also classy, elegant, gentlemanly, very in line with what we like to see at the fraternity here. Infrared EDP, amazing, amazing fragrance. I'm not even into that style of fragrance necessarily, but I can recognize how amazing infrared EDP is. It really is resinous and just the perfect amount of sweetness, spicy. It's an insane blend coming from a designer house. Really, Victor and Rolf really outdid themselves. I think that one was so good that had part of the disappointment in dark leather. The bar was so high with infrared EDP. Gucci Guilty Elixir. I'm not sure if I've tried that one or not. I think of the Gucci Guilties. I have a short time I spent with them. I kind of gravitated toward the Eau de Parfum, but I'm not sure if I tried the Elixir or not. Born in Roma Intense. Okay. Is that one kind of like Invictus? I think the original Born in Roma was kind of like Invictus style. I don't know about the Intense though. Valentino, for whatever reason, I just don't really gravitate towards them. I think the look of their bottles throws me off. I don't know. Something about the studded bottles is just it's kind of a turn off for me. I don't know why. I need to get over that and just really try some of their fragrances because I know they have some really good ones, but I think their bottles are funky for whatever reason. Dumb reason, I know. Just being honest. Jazz Club for the really cold fall days. You, sir, have an excellent fall lineup. You are set. You are certainly set. The fear overspraying. Yeah. And it's funny because some fragrances you can overspray with. So you really got to like have a mental note of, okay, with this fragrance, I can spray it 100 times and I'll be okay. With this fragrance, 3 times maximum. And you don't really know that until you've worn it a couple times. So when you first get a new fragrance, you can really ruin someone's day. Yeah, spicy red pepper, cinnamon, leather woods. Yeah, the blend on it is really amazing. Really amazing. Okay, so I was wrong. Roma Intense is a lavender vanilla vetiver version of the original. Okay. I think I like that. I mean, I like lavender. I like vanilla in the base. I like vetiver. I think I should get my nose on that one. People say I went up to Ross. All right, folks. I'm running out of ideas here. I don't want to completely, just make waste of your time. I appreciate you being here. If you have any questions or final thoughts, this is the time. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up the live stream. Always enjoy these Wednesday live streams, chopping it up with you guys. Patrick, keep asking me if I'm going to do a live stream because if you ask me, chances are I'm going to do one. As far as content goes, I don't know. I'll just do a fall list. Obviously, we talked about some today. Could start with that. I had an idea of doing, if you like Sauvage, you'll like these fragrances. I think that would be cool. I don't know if anyone's done that yet. So that's something I got in the works. I do have a decent amount of fragrances on their way to me, even though we talked about, slowing down buying, but that's how the addiction goes. You say you're going to stop, but you don't. So that is kind of quid pro quo with that. And other than that, one thing I want to share with you guys that my football coach once told me is nothing's ever as hard as it seems, or nothing's ever as bad as it seems, and nothing's ever as good as it seems either. So I think that's something cool to keep in mind. A lot of times when we have something that we don't want to do, we really make it into this whole thing in our minds about how it's going to be awful. And then we ended up just taking that first step and we realized, I don't even know what I was worried about the whole time. And on the flip side, sometimes we have grandiose expectations of a new fragrance or an experience or something. And if it doesn't live up to that expectation of how grand we thought it was going to be, maybe we feel a little bit upset. And that's not the right way either. So it's good to just take life for what it is, enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, try to be positive, there's a lot of shit talkers out there. So just try to be one of the good guys, you know, and I think people around you will appreciate it. All right. Final wrap up of the comments, and then we'll be shutting this thing down. Should give some of the Valentinos a chance. Yeah, I should. I'm really ridiculous of not wanting to try them just because of the bottles, and I know that. Yeah, the intense I heard is like that powdery iris, which I'm into. So obviously, Coral Fantasy. Yes, the names too are just kind of like Coral Fantasy, like Green Extravaganza. I don't know. I I mock them a little bit, but I got to get my nose on them. You know, none of that stuff really matters. It's all vanity anyway. Um, if it makes you feel better about the bottle shape, it's based around Italian architecture, the rock stud. Okay, that actually does make me feel a little bit better about it, because when I see those studs, I always think about like emo kids from when I was in middle school or whatever, wearing like the studded necklaces. That's what I think about when I see those bottles. Is like they look like emo, like punk rock to me. So it's good to know that it's actually Italian architecture, and who knows, those emo middle school kids, they actually were rocking Italian architecture that whole time. So who's the fool in that situation? Give me a suggestion for Alexandria before we jump off here. I'd love to. I'll give you a couple, man. I've been really into Alexandria lately. I think they're the best clone house. All right, so Smooth Sailing is really, really good. It's their clone of 40 knots. I'm pretty picky with honey and fragrances. Not normally the biggest fan of honey, but the way that it works there is really, really nice. Not super aquatic. It's a little different. I think you're gonna like it though. So Smooth Sailing, and also a quick tip on Amazon, you can get 10 ml travel sprays, which is really what I've been doing. They're like $20. And also on the Alexandria website, you can get Ruthless Aqua, which is their Invictus Aqua 2024 for $10, which I got. And it smells great. I kind of wanted, I guess, a higher quality Mont Blanc Legend Spirit. Because I recently heard someone say that Legend Spirit has like some kind of bathroom cleaner ingredient in it, and that kind of scared me a little. So I was like, I'll get this $10 10 ml child spray of Invictus Aqua, and then I can have like maybe a high quality version of it. Also, their Louis Vuitton clones are really good. Afternoon Splash for afternoon swim. Ooh, I'm smelling Kajal Ferris in the air from that little spray that I did earlier, and it's so freaking good, guys. It's great performance too. I wore it to work, and it was lovely. It's really refreshing too. Kajal Ferris is really good. Anyway, what else from Alexandria? I don't know. We talked about Herba Pura, but they have a good Herba Pura clone. That one's a little bit more feminine leaning. Not sure if you're into that scent profile. What else have I tried from them? I'm getting in Santal Silk from them, which is their clone of Original Santal from Creed. Like, yeah, you can wear individual, but same concept. I want that profile, but just with a higher quality. So I'll let you know about Santal Silk, how I feel about that. I own Pacific Coast. That's their interpretation of Pacific Chill from Louis Vuitton. I want to try their Meteor clone of Louis Vuitton's Meteor. I'm sure that's going to be good. I've kind of gotten to the point where I really trust what they're doing. If you like Fierce, and you want something that smells like actual Fierce, not like Percival, not like Legend, like legit Fierce, OG Fierce from mid 2000s with performance Fierce, Ferocity is really good, really, really good. And last one that I'll give you from them. I mean, I can keep going, but I like their fragrances a lot. Last one is if you ever smelled PDM Cologne, I had a really interesting experience. They sent me a little sample, because when you buy one of their travel sprays, they send you like 2 or 3 of their little samples. And one of them was called Red Stallion. And I kind of wanted to have fun with it. I was like, I'm going to go into this blind. Like, I don't want to know what this is cloning. I just want to go into a blind and see if I like it. And I did like it. And then I looked up, it was cloning Cologne. And I was like, there is no freaking way that this is cloning Cologne, because I tried Cologne like a year and a half ago, and my nose is obviously developed, because when I tried Cologne, I was just thinking, man, Jeremy Fragrance is such a shill because he made a video about how he likes it and how it's so great. And I was like, dude, he's the biggest shill. Like, this is how could anybody in the world think that this smells good? Why in the hell would you want to smell like this? I was like so just disgusted with cologne when I tried it, like maybe a year and a half or two ago. And then lo and behold, here we are today. I'm smelling the cologne, Red Stallion cologne, thinking about how great it is. So it's just kind of funny. It goes to show how our noses develop and how real the nose development can be. So a couple of recommendations for you there. If you want more info, you can hit me up on Instagram. You know, I like to write you long messages about all my thoughts. Have a blessed night as well, Henry. God bless, and only good things, God willing, coming your way. I think Elysium one is Zion. Yeah, that's another good one there. I haven't tried it, but apparently their Black Panther is really good for Bulgari's Tiger. And Zion, if you want Elysium, is really good. I've heard. I think they have a Zion Intense too. If you want to try the Elysium Intense DNA. Yeah. Thank you, JCB. Thank you for being here. Yeah, same. I don't know. I don't think that's one that like they typically have at Macy's, do they? If they do, or Sephora, I'd be all over that. I'd love to try that. Oh, you haven't tried it yet? Yeah, let us know your thoughts. Love to know what you think. All good, Greg. We're actually just probably shutting it down here in a second. Yeah, we got a couple comments to go through, but we're getting to that hour and a half point. But yeah, anyway, life is good, my man. No complaints. I'm very blessed. So got to keep it in perspective here. Exciting Absolute Silver Mountain Water clone. Okay, interesting. A new Silver Mountain Water clone. That sounds good. I mean, I like Silver Mountain Water. You know, I'm not gonna have to get it because I'm over here repping the Banana Republics with Metal Rain, but Dumont has some interesting things. You know, I'm not really familiar with their work. They seem to be taking the scene by storm, some people might say. I was so skeptical and biased against Carolina Herrera because of the bad boy landing balls. I'll check Cobalt Blue Moon Way. So good. Foolish me just based on appearance. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing the same thing with Valentino, right? It's really the goth kids wearing those studded necklaces that ruined it for me. I'm blaming them right now. But yeah, I think actually the EDT, if you ever tried the EDT bad boy, it's pretty good. It's a little chocolatey. I mean, it smells super designery, but it's pretty cool. Decent little fragrance. I don't think I'd buy a full bottle, but that was pretty cool. Oh yeah, good call. Good call. Yeah. Yes, Isla de Santorini is really good. I have a 5 ml of it, and perhaps one day I'll go full bottle, but it is full bottle worthy. It's classy. I wonder how close it is to the real deal. I don't know if you smelled it, Giancarlo. I have not, but Island de Santorini is really nice. If you want a fresh green, even though it is called Isola Blue, I do get a nice, decent amount of green nuances in that fragrance. I got a 2006 original Santal coming in tomorrow. Ooh, nice, man. That is my favorite Creed at this moment. You're going to be smelling great. Yeah, the 10 mLs go a long way, and the sprayer is decent. They come in. I'll show you what they look like. Yeah, they look like this. You know, just the standard lipstick sprayer type stuff. You do have to take it out to see what fragrance it is, but yeah, they work pretty well. I'll give you sprays so you can see. Well, that one wasn't very good, but there it goes. Pretty decent atomizer. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but gets the job done. And when you got a lot of fragrances, 10 ml goes a long way. I love the quality too. You pay a little bit more than you would with like a Dua brand, but get what you pay for. It's certainly worth the price. Okay, you got it off the website. That makes sense. Amazing smile, dude. Interesting. All right, guys, that's gonna be it. We're right about an hour and a half. Much love to all of you. Appreciate you coming in, spending some time with me, hanging out, chatting. Hope you enjoyed. Topic of discussion. Hope it was fun for you. We'll be back probably next week, God willing. You know, especially Patrick sends me another message like, "Hey, dude, you doing a live?" Then I probably will. If you guys ever want to chop it up about fragrances, you can send me a direct message on Fragrance Fraternity on my Instagram. I made that page just to basically have a place where we can message, because you can't send direct messages on YouTube. So if you guys feel free to message me if you want to just give me your random thoughts about any fragrance. I always like to hear about that, and I might give you some random thoughts of my own. So yeah, appreciate you, Dan, for sending that sample of the Wave Child. Be looking forward to getting that in, giving you my thoughts, and giving it some wears. Have a great night, everybody, and be well out there. Keep smelling great. Keep being awesome members of the Fragrance Fraternity. Thanks, guys. Take care.